I lied. I said an episode wasn't coming out today, but one is. I think you're going to get 3 episodes this week, so that's awesome for you. So today I'm talking to Frank Gielen, who was part of the Belgian team that won the Big Dog's Backyard Ultra World Team Championship. So this is the Big's Backyard that Lazarus Lake, who's the creator of the Barkley Marathons, puts on. And it's when you run a 4.167 mile loop, which is called a yard, every hour. So on the hour, you run 4.1 miles. And you have to finish that within the hour. And if you finish with extra time, you can eat, go to the bathroom, sleep, do whatever. But you continue this until everyone else has quit. And so every 2 years, there's a team championship. And in the alternating 2 years, there's an individual championship. This year was the team championship, and Belgium won by setting a world record, and the top 3 people on Belgium set the new backyard world record of 110 hours of running 4.1 miles every hour. So they totaled 458.36 miles. We got to give them those extra 0.36 because that's just insane. So they ran for 4.5 days, running 4.1 miles every hour on the hour. So Marijn, Ivo, and Frank ran this together and secured a pretty massive victory for Team Belgium. And that happened October 19, 2024. So super relevant. I just talked to Frank. We talked about training for these things, the background, the strategy, how to run a backyard ultra, how to run far in a backyard ultra, hallucinations, what happens out there, how to work together as a team, the vibe of these things. You're going to want to run one of these once you listen to this. So it's a super fun interview. There's a lot of good nuggets on how to train his mindset. And, now he's one of 3 people tied with the world record in this backyard format where you run 4.1 miles every hour. And the interesting thing is he said fast runners and slow runners are pretty much equal, that fast runners can be in the top 10 of these things, slow runners can be in the top 10. It's all strategy. And then he really talked about crew and the importance of that. And even if you don't want to run a backyard ultra like this, I think it's really fascinating and interesting to hear how his crew operates, how he uses the information that he gets from his crew from the last race and applies it to the next race, and just the whole mentality of improving, getting better, setting goals, structure, stuff like that. So I really like it, and I think you will too. So here is Frank Gielen. All right, today we are joined by Frank the Tank, Frank Gielen, fresh off winning the Backyard Ultra World Team Championship for Belgium by running, I believe, 458 miles in 4.5 days with his 3 other teammates. So they had a pretty strong team. So what's going through your mind at the start of a backyard like that, knowing you're going to be running for many days? Are you nervous? Are you just fine to start moving slow? Yeah. Do you have a goal for every loop, what time you finish it in? So for those that don't know, it's 4.1 mile loop every hour on the hour. But is there a goal time you want to finish that loop in?
Well, the less goals you have and then can't make it, the less stress you have. And
Okay.
I try to do it a bit faster than before. I was a really slow runner in America or the past backyards. I trained a bit harder so that I could run a bit faster now. But I don't care too much about my time. but I think on average I had about 9 or 10 minutes. So that's pretty, yeah, that's enough to do all the
Yeah.
things necessary. Yeah.
Okay. And so let's go back to the beginning. How did you get into the world of backyard ultras and figuring out you're even good at them? How did you learn about them and enter your first one?
Well, first I was just a normal guy, 30 years old, had my first kids, and then I needed something to put my mind to. And one of my coworkers subscribed for half a marathon. And I told to myself, yeah, if he can do it, I for sure can do it. And he learned me the basics, and that half marathon went pretty fine. And then during the training together, he also told me that he already did a marathon. So then he explained me the difference between a 20K and a marathon. And it was only 5 weeks of different kind of training. So, okay, the same year marathon. And then from that year on, I did 1 or 2 marathons a year. And suddenly, a friend of my brother, he went to a race and we were talking, and turns out he run to the race, did the race, and run back. So, so that was a bit crazy for me. And he invited me to his running group, and that was very fun. It is like always in an ultra. So yeah, you want to join? Oh yes, yes. What are you gonna do? Or 35 kilometers or 50? Ah, okay, 35. No, nobody is doing the 35. Oh, okay, I do the 50. Okay. Then in the car, yeah, in an ultra, it's not always the same distance. It will be 52. Okay, okay, it will be 52. And then suddenly we are running. There is some kind of thing we cannot go through. Okay, it's an extra 3K. So turns out it became 56 or 57. But it was fun for me. And so I knew, okay, ultra running maybe is also something for me. And then 2 years later, there was some kind of, there are pretty awesome races in Belgium. We have awesome terrain. And the fourth race, it's some kind of slam. So you do 4 races in 1 year, and then you get some kind of extra title, the slam. And the last race is in the backyard format. So if you did there 28 loops, then you got your slam. And it was in the Corona year, so only the people that were able to do the slam could run it. So it was with less people, and it was some kind of way of race that was perfect for me because I was not the fastest runner, but I like to talk to everybody, the fast
Uh-huh.
guys, the slow guys, and every hour you can reset, eat a lot, drink a lot, make sure that your balls are not hurting and stuff like that. And then you can talk to the fastest guys or the last guys or girls, of course. And it was very nice. And the cool thing is, most of the people at the end they stop because it's so boring for them. But I I could turn that around and see it as something reassuring. Like, okay, I know this section and I know this section, and bit by bit, I learned to appreciate the format more and more. And then there was one more thing. One of my friends there, Marijn Geert, he was also doing it. And I said to myself, okay, I don't care what's my place, but I want to be in front of Marijn. And turns out that 1 year later, Marijn became the first world champion with Karel Sabbe. Maybe you know Karel Sabbe too.
Yep.
So that was 4 years ago. There, Karel Sabbe was the world champion with 75, and Marijn had 74. And 2 years later, Marijn, no, a bit earlier, Marijn broke it again. Then he did 90 uh, against Kate Russell. And then 1 year later, and 2 years before now, he did 101 with Evo. And yeah, I was behind again. And now this year, finally, I'm break even.
Yeah. So this year, both those guys that it seems like you looked up to and were setting the record, all three of you finished, was it 110 yards
110.
together?
Yeah.
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 So you got
Yeah.
to run right next to him. Was that a surprise, or did you know that you had the ability to keep up with some legends?
Well, he is really a legend, and also Ivo is really a legend. Ivo wins a lot of races in Belgium. He's a bit older, but he's very fast. And Marijn, he became a friend, of course. And we now have a running club in Belgium. So I see him like every Tuesday evening on the D plus Dinsdag, the vertical Tuesday. We run hills together, and then we talk about tactics about the backyard. And so we are no competition, but it is my admiration to become one day, when he's in a good shape, to win from him, but in a friendly manner, of course.
Yeah, it's so fun having done a couple backyard styles that you basically are friends with everyone out there, and then at some point someone just can't keep going. And the coolest part about the style is the first place person can only go as far as second place goes, basically, and then just one more. Like, it's second place is literally called an assist because it takes two people to push a record so far.
Yeah, he's almost the most important guy of the two.
Yeah, yeah, because when he quits, it's pretty much over.
Yeah. And also you see that in the other countries, there were guys like Phil Gore who had the record before. He was like as fresh as could be. He did now, I think, 97 or 96 laps, and that's because number two, his assist, he was totally wasted, and he made it just far enough so that he could beat America.
Nice. We have the target on our back. So
Yeah.
when,
But that was because
yeah,
you won 2 years ago. So
hmm, yeah. So going into a team backyard ultra like this, what is the strategy? What is the goal? Do you have you met as a
well,
team and talked about strategy?
uh, there was not really a team strategy, but we had some team building up front. And the fact that we have such a small country, it's easier to know each other already up front. So we are Strava buddies and stuff like that. And a lot of the runners also run now in my running club, not in my region, but a bit farther. So they all always talk about backyards. And some of our runs are in the backyard fashion, so that we say, okay, this Tuesday we're gonna do 1, 2, or 3 backyard rounds, so that you get the format, and we
Hmm.
talk a lot about it. And the extra thing that we have in Team Belgium is that the organizer of the backyard is also a race organizer, and
Hmm.
those they organize really hard races. The It's 100 miles or more, and we have pretty rough terrain. So Belgium is a small country, but we have a lot of different surfaces, a lot of mud, a lot of rocks, sometimes sand, and a lot of roots in the woods. So yeah, it's nice and not easy. So the gnarly terrain, it builds up, and we have strong legs.
Yeah,
And then
yeah.
and then the main goal there is, if we can help each other, you help yourself also, because from the moment there's one guy that gives up, then the next one will be easier to also give up. And that was what
Hmm.
we did. There were already some problems in lap 20 and 30 with stomach revolting and things like that. But we made sure that those guys did not get an excuse. We helped them. We gave them good food. We asked what the problem was. And as a team, we made sure that there was no one giving up before 50, which was like crazy. Every athlete in Team Belgium has their own personal record at that race, which,
Okay.
yeah, normally that doesn't work. You always have
Yeah.
like some bad luck or something like that, but everything worked out fine. So yeah,
Wow.
and
That's
yeah,
crazy.
and the food was good, and And yeah, we made sure that we were caring for each other and not only for ourselves.
Yeah. So personally, when you are doing a backyard, what is your strategy? Like early on, are you trying to just keep everything really easy and take care of your body? And then as things get a little harder, is there a set protocol? Like, do you eat something, then sit down or try to take a nap? Or how do you manage things like sleep and food and preserving yourself as long as you can out there?
Yeah. First of all, I have a crew member who is also a runner, and he's a really good friend of mine. And he did already, I think, 4 of my backyards together. So he went to
Okay.
America last year with me, and yeah, he knows me really well, which is a plus. So
Congrats.
when things look shaky, when I'm like going zombie style, and then my mom was there and she said, "Oh, Frank is wasted." And then Gerald told her, "No, he's just fine. Wait 1 hour." And so that he knows me helps. Of course, he has some. He's positive and he believes in me and he knows what I need. And the strategy is more like this: make sure that I most of the hours I eat something and I drink something, and sleeping is for the night. So during the day, that you don't need to sleep so much because of the hormones in your body. You don't feel it. Another thing that I do is not too much caffeine during the day, and only when you start to need it. That can be disastrous, of course, if you take it too late. But yeah, that's one of my strong points. Beating the sleep. So in total, I slept about 90 minutes during those 4.5 nights. But yeah, small maximum 5 or 8 minutes sleeps, they help a lot. And my thing is, okay, I just allow my body to rest, and I don't care if I sleep or not, because if you want to sleep, you cannot sleep. You just allow your body to rest, and if you sleep, it's a nice bonus. So
Okay.
then, yeah, and then how I sleep, then it's cool. Like I take some a hat, something over my head so that it's black. But I sometimes open my eyes then, and I start to see some kind of animation, and that animation changes in letters, and yeah, it's like some crazy film in front of my eyes, and sometimes the film changes into a real dream, and the other time it is just images flashing in front of my eyes, and then it's done at the end, so that I didn't sleep, but for sure my brain could fart away all the things that it needed to say. And
Wow.
then I go for another round, and yeah, if I'm still not awake, I try to repeat the process.
Yeah. When you go to sleep, is there a set amount of time you get woken up before the next yard starts? Do you have a timer or your crew?
Well, in the format itself, the organizer always whistles when you have 3 minutes left one time, then two times, and then three times. So you get woken up by those whistles already. And then my watch also had some kind of activity that was backyard worthy. And it even woke me up 10 seconds before those whistles. So I don't have a problem, yeah, sleeping too much there.
Yeah, yeah. So, do you notice that the runners who struggle, do they start out too quick at the beginning? Do they just not take care of themselves? What's the biggest downfall of people who don't perform well at backyards?
Well, when you make it to the Belgium team, you're already a seasoned runner, because we
Totally.
are already one of the big countries, like in the top 5 for sure. And so the guy, the least experienced, did a backyard 28 hours, but that one was one with a lot of elevation in it. So
Okay.
200 meters up, I think that's 600 feet, not sure.
Yeah,
But yeah,
about
it's a lot.
700 feet. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
700 feet per hour, which is hard.
Yeah.
and he had a lot of time, so he's a really good runner. And then when things go bad, most of the time it's sleeping related, and then in combination with something else, like when it's in the night, people their stomach starts to hurt because it's harder to eat in the night for some people. I have there a good, yeah, my system is good for that. Some people have problems going to the toilet too much.
Uh-huh.
Some have to throw up the whole time. Others they had some kind of misstep and their feet are hurting more and more, and something is done in their legs. Yeah, breaking down. Others stop just by boredom, like I cannot do
Yeah.
another night, something like that. And they are not prepared to do all those nights. The nights are the hardest part of it. And
Yeah.
my way to survive it is, my superpower there is my mind, because I know I'm there to do everything I need to do. I make sure that I love what I'm doing, and there was no one round that I was doing against my will. It was all, I was always happy to do one more, because every time you get closer and closer to your personal record and closer to bringing Team Belgium to, yeah, to the world stage. So
Yeah.
yeah, I really love it.
Yeah. So this one in particular, or in the past, do you hallucinate out there? Do you start seeing things, and what kind of things?
Yeah,
Or hearing
I'm
things?
looking out for the hallucinations, of course.
Yeah.
Um, the more that you do this kind of long races, the more you learn that your food intake also is crucial. So if you don't eat enough sugar, then you hallucinate more, and if you sleep not enough, then you also hallucinate more. So if you sleep enough, then you almost don't have any hallucinations. But of course, I like them, so I make sure I have my dose of it. And yeah, there was one time this race, I think night two, and there was a lot of fog, and I saw in the background there was a lot of noise of some kind of dog kennel, yeah, so where they breed dogs, and they were howling the whole time. And in the background, I saw dinosaurs. I was sure they were dinosaurs because I could see them in the fog. And I was calling to my wife, I see dinosaurs now. And she said, yes, yes. Reti is known for all his dinosaurs. And then, yeah, she was just, yeah, she knew that I was just saying bullshit, but not making sure that I was panicking about it. But I really saw it. I still know it. And then 12 hours later, I went back to the same place. I always went, but I thought about it. And then I saw it was in the daylight. It was just some kind of tree in the with a different color and a bit the shape of a head of a dinosaur. And then
Wow.
later in the race, in all the trees and the how you call the small things of the leaves,
Bushes? Yeah,
there,
leaves.
yeah, there you saw strange forms of monsters and all these kind of things and evil witches. And the cool thing was, I was running next to Evo, and I said, look, this one, do you see what it is? Yes, it is that. And we had the same kind of hallucinations next to each other. But I see it more as like, okay, there is some visual cues. And because your brain is so tired, then it makes something out of it. It's like looking to the clouds, and there you see a baby attacking a dinosaur, something like that. And then you see it a lot, much more than during when you're just awake.
Yeah, that's interesting because in my sleep deprivation periods, I see a lot of witches too, and that's one of the first things I hallucinated ever when I was sleep deprived. So it seems like it keeps coming back
Right.
up, the same visuals.
Yeah, but it's also where you think about a lot that will come up during those hallucinations. So I have a funny story about a friend of mine. He was doing the Legends. It's a 270 kilometers race, so almost 200 miles. And during night three, he was very, very tired. But they told him, you cannot sleep in the woods because it's dangerous. You will get too cold. You can only sleep in a barn where it's warm. So something where there's hay and stuff like that. So what he then saw in his hallucinations was all kinds of barns, but all surrounded by barbed wire. So he couldn't go in them.
Oh, that's so hard when all you want to do is sleep, and you can see where you're allowed to sleep, but you're not allowed in.
Yeah. And
so,
then also at the end of last year, after 97 loops, I was not able to do the 98. And they were filming me with the film crew, and while I was walking, and then I saw some kind of how you call it again? A stump.
Yeah.
And I was say, look, there's a tree with, and then I said, oh shit, I shouldn't say that I see a face in it and stuff like that because everybody sees it. I'm not gonna say anything. I went back. But you see that on the when you see the live feed again, you see that I tried to say it first and then I turned around.
Oh, that's good. So at this Backyard Ultra Championship, at the end, how did you three? It sounds like you all three stopped at the same time. Is that what happened? And how did you decide that's when you were done?
Well, it was done 2 years ago with Marijn and Ivo, the same guys. When they reached, then it was like, was 100, breaking 100 possible? Is it possible for a human being to do 100 hours? And it was the first time ever they did it. And there were so many people gathered around them, that they suddenly decided to stop after 101 hours. So it was something they did spontaneously. And now this time we were still there with 4 people at lap 97. And so we knew, okay, we are going to break 100 with 4 people, which is amazing. And then after 100, Kenneth, who is also a great guy, he's like a triathlon king. He has the world record in 10-fold triathlon and also 5-fold triathlon in one go. And those Belgian guys. And then he stopped. And then in loop 101 or 102, we just were talking about, are we going for the world records and what are we going to do after? And then I talked to Marijn and then he told me, I'm not sure. I think Ivo wants to battle for it. And then, also Marijn was not sure to stop together. That would be a good idea. But I said, okay, I heard what you say. I'm going to talk to Ivo. And then next lap, I go with Ivo. I said, Marijn is okay if we stop together after we break the world record. Is that okay? Only if it's okay for you. For me, it's okay. So, okay, we said, hey, we're going to stop together. So we were working together then for a few hours, which was good because, that night, everything can change as a finger snap. And I almost fell asleep running, but then we broke the world record together, and then Ivo and I were a bit slower than Marijn, but we saw that Marijn was more and more grumpy, and there was some kind of turning point, and then Marijn came to us again, and then he said, "We are not gonna run 109 laps. We have to do more." And Ivo and I said, "Oh no, what are you saying?" Because if you say, okay, this is the last round, and we say, this is the last turn here, this is the last turn there, and suddenly he said, no, at least 6 or 7 kilometers more.
Wow.
And then he said, at least 110 or 111. And then we both said, yeah, 110 is good for us. And we did one more, and we were very glad. Also because we are friends, we know each other so good. And the other part of it is the goal was to win as Team Belgium. And if you first win as a football team to the other all the other countries, and then suddenly you need to also beat your own goalkeeper, and then you need to you beat your the guy that makes all the goals. Yeah, it's a bit it's a strange switch. So that's also why we chose. Okay, we will carry the world record together for as long as it lasts. And next year, when we all try to be the individual best, then we'll see who ends at the last. We are not sure that we will be the guys. We will do our best. That's the most important thing, and we'll see then. But this time, three friends stopping together, and I know there are people that say, "Yeah, that's not in the spirit of the sport," but we saw it that way, and we were very happy with what we already did. And if we were like not in front of everybody, then you don't do that, because then you try to beat the other country again, and then at the end, there's one guy that cannot do it anymore. And now it was like, okay, we are already 20 hours running first. What's the goal here? And also, when you make the world record and you make it, if you beat it just by 2 hours, it's more fun for the next guy that he can also beat it. And it's like in jumping higher. They don't beat it by 15 centimeters, even if they can. It's better to do it one by one, because then you win a lot of more money. Not that we won anything with it, but
yeah. So when you finish and you're done, are you excited and celebrate, or are you so exhausted you're ready to sleep immediately?
It's something in between. We were like so happy, and then we were hugging each other and falling on the ground almost. National television was there, so we first needed to give some comments and look like old guys coming out of the chairs. But then we did some kind of party. We went all in one room with a big table, and we talked a bit. And after 20 minutes, we all fell asleep there. And then bit by bit, we tried to go to our room so that we could finally sleep.
Yeah. And after 458 miles in 4.5 days, what's recovery like? Do you wake up unable to move the next morning, or how are you feeling?
The problem is that your bladder doesn't stop working. So I needed to go to the toilet room, and that was, if somebody filmed that, it was crazy. So I needed to my hands to the doorknob, and it was very strange. And then I slept a bit further, and I was very slow the next day, but my legs were pretty fine. That was crazy. It was more, my brain was totally wasted, but the body was okay. And still now, my sleep is still fractured. I still have the bladder of a 90-year-old guy, because all the toxins needs to leave my body. And I'm still not there.
Yeah. And what's the format? So is it every 2 years is the team championship, and every other 2 years is the individual championship? Is that how it's set up?
So normally all the countries run together, and so then you see which countries are place 1, 2, 3, and all the rest. But all the winners of the countries, they get selected, and they can run the individual world championship the next year. And then there's the at-large list. That's the top runners. So you didn't win, but you are the best assist, or you win on another occasion somewhere. And then the best 25 of the last 2 years also get they can go to America then. And like that, I went already last year, and that was with 67 loops. I could go there, but now if you want to go there, because there are more countries and less people that get invited, so now you need to run like 82 loops, and then you will get invited to. So the
Okay.
standards always get harder and harder to get in. So that's why
Yeah.
you need to be fast to. If you want to be there, you need to be quick.
Yeah. And this is the Big's backyard that Lazarus Lake hosts, right?
Yeah,
In
yeah.
on
And
his
it is also a bit harder because every country can organize it where they want. So if you have a big country, you can do it in the not too hot place or not too hilly. And I think that our team organizer really chose a nice spot to do it. Like there's a good toilet, there's good place to rest. The course is not too hard. There's not too much trunks on it. So that's also very important, and you need to be smart because if you make it too hard for the runners, yeah, they won't make it too far, of course. And in the beginning, they were say, yeah, Belgium, it's not a real course, it's too flat. But now all the countries are doing it. So we were just smarter in the beginning already.
Yeah.
And then we
Yeah.
also made sure in America, we did 197 and 80, and the rest did also pretty well. So we showed, okay, it's not because we at home we do it flat that we can do it in America. So
Yeah.
I trained really hard for that also.
Yeah. I want to dive into some specifics now. So what do you eat usually during this 4.5 days of running? What's your nutrition strategy?
The strategy is to mimic normal food intake. So if you have a breakfast and a lunch and then a 4 hours and then a dinner and then a 10-hour clock and then maybe a party times hot dog and then you
Yeah.
do a kebab after going out and then you start over again. So every so many hours you take something more structural to you,
Hmm.
but of course, the portions are a bit not as big as normally. So maybe you split it in two-third and one-third, so that you eat most of it the first hour, and then an extra part of it the next hour, and then you eat a bit less the next hours again, and then you start over with a new big meal. And so in the morning it was more eggs and scrambled eggs with bacon. And then in the night it was most of the time or a hot dog or pizza, something like that. We got some good spaghetti, rice with applesauce, really good. Stoofvlees, yeah, I'm not sure what that is.
Yeah.
It's like goulash stuff, like things. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
pretty normal things that are easy digestible. Most of the times I take a bit less meat because meat is a bit harder to digest, but I take a bit of it for the long term. So in the first hours it's the easy digestible things, and for the later hours it's those the meaty things. Then they can keep on burning.
But
And
you
I
don't
didn't
you don't use gels or anything like that?
Yes, gels are not the base thing, but to help out for small sugar lows and highs. So if I say, okay, I maybe didn't eat enough, then I take an extra gel. And in total, I had like maybe 8 or 10 gels on those 5 days. So it's not too much. And what I do use is Tailwind and Never Second. So
Hmm.
that's also something like shells. There's already a lot of sugar in it, next to all the things that I drink, of course. And one thing I changed this year is normally Gerald always asks me what you want to drink, and he has like 1 cup already there. And then if I need something else, he finds it for me, then I can take it. But this time I took 5 cups, and always they were always full with different kind of juices. And then I see it, okay, this round I want that and that and that one. I drink them all three, and the next round it's all full again, and then so that I don't have to ask it anymore. It's easier, and he can always check then what I drank. So he
Uh,
marks everything I eat in a big sheet. I can send it to you if you want. It's in Dutch, but yeah, it's easy to understand at the end. And it's a complete document about my mental breakdowns, the amount of toilet breaks I take, when I change socks. Everything is in it, and that's a good document to read for the next time, because every backyard you learn something new.
yeah. So how do you use that sheet and all that info? Like, what are specific things you've taken and learned from the past and applied in the future?
Well, last time, the 97, I had it, and then I saw the last night was pretty rock and roll, and there I saw that I didn't, I was not fast enough anymore. So I saw my times. That was one thing of it, and the other thing was I was not eating enough. I was like eating half a banana and almost nothing, and but also because I didn't have the time to eat. If you have only 2 or 3 minutes left, you cannot eat a lot,
Hmm.
and that's some kind of vicious circle, the circle of death they call it. If you're not fast enough, you cannot eat easy. When you then eat, it goes on your stomach and you go slower again. So if you don't, you need to go then one fast lap, easily rest and eat, and then try to have another pretty fast one so that the food is coming in.
Hmm. Yeah,
Very hard, and
totally.
that was really the thing. The nights, I saw, okay, I didn't have enough rest, and so I instructed Gerald, like, let's try for 3 fast laps every night, so that I have at least 3 times the chance to sleep. And I think we nailed that almost. Maybe not the last night, because that was already the fifth one, and the goal there was clear. It was just surviving that night, and it was not going to go for the sixth.
Yeah.
It was already
What is
crazy
a
enough.
fast lap? What
For
time?
me, a fast lap in the beginning is 12 minutes over, or 11,
Uh-huh.
and by night 2 or 3, it is 9 or 8 minutes. It's enough, because then you can go in your chair and sleep for 5 minutes and still have the possibility to eat something.
Okay.
And at Big Dog's backyard, I did 45 yards with less than 5 minutes, because it was so hilly. It was, yeah, and that was the crazy thing. It is possible to, for a fast and a slow runner, to get far there. The half of the top 10 was fast, and the other guys were slow. And I think that's the thing that I learned to the world is, you don't need to be as fast as Evo or as Phil Gore or as Sam Harvey. They are really good runners, and they can do the whole time 18 minutes rest laps and sleep for 15 minutes, and still we can beat them if you just have the courage and don't look too much to the other guys, and make sure that you treat yourself the way your body needs to be treated, and the way you want to think about yourself. If you say, I can do it with only 2 minutes, then you can do it, and
Yeah.
then you don't
It
have the stress of it. So yeah.
it sounds like it's very important to have a good crew person whose only goal is to fill in the gaps, like making sure you're eating, making sure everything's ready when you come in, even making sure you're up and moving for the next yard. It seems like the crew is the unsung hero of the whole thing.
It is. I cannot stress that enough. Gerald is worth gold. Yeah, he's a really true friend, and he really knows me. And when things go south, he just says, yeah, 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 it's only one more lap, and he throws me out of the chair, and it really helps. And every backyard, he's even getting better. So it's
Wow.
amazing. And the good thing is, while he's on the backyard, he's still working for his normal job. Yeah, that's just crazy.
Does he sleep less than you do out there?
No, he sleeps like I think he slept like 2.5 hours, and slept 1.5 hours, something like
Oh
that.
man. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. So I want to get into your training now for a little bit. How do you train or structure your training? Like when you're pretty far out from the race, are you working on, are you still doing speed work or anything, or is it very centered around endurance? How do you do like a
Well,
progression through a build for an event like this?
yeah, forever I am going for endurance. Like that's my goal.
Mm-hmm.
Always doing pretty high mileage, what my body likes. It's about 100K a week, something like that. During the years, I built that up a bit. So in the beginning of my ultra career, I did like 80 kilometers. That's 50 miles. And now this year, I think it's about 120, 130 kilometers a week by average.
Okay.
And most of it is, of course, endurance. I like to run in the woods, but I'm not ashamed to run also when I'm going to work on asphalt on the normal roads, because it's good to have different kind of surfaces in your training, so that when you have a backyard that's only concrete, yeah, then you're not fucked. And then
Yeah.
the other part of it is, so I do a lot of kilometers. Every Tuesday, it's the Vertical Tuesday, the running club that we started ourselves, and it is built to be sure that in the weekends, if you go for a race, a 50K or 100K or 100 miler, your legs are able to do it. And we focus on up and down. So we don't see how many kilometers we do, but we try to do 1,000 meters up and down if the hill is suitable for it. You have to know that Belgium is a small country with small hills, so it
Mm-hmm.
is sometimes pretty steep, but never a long up. It's 50 meters maximum in where we live, but we do that a lot, of course. We have a course where we do a round of 2 kilometers with 200 meters up and downhill. So
Okay.
that's pretty good. So we do that 5 times, and then at the end, we we have 1,000, and we are very proud, and we can share it. Also, that all the people there, they are really supporting each other. It's not competition; it's working together. And we always say like,
Mm-hmm.
having misery together is the most fun you can have. So
Totally.
yeah, it is like that. And so the Tuesday is always to have strong legs, and then the rest of the week I make sure I do it at work and stuff, and then in the weekends we do a bit longer work. And then
Okay.
what also happened was my last backyard in Belgium was not the biggest success, and I made some mistakes there. And because it was normally planned for end of May, and that one was cancelled because the organizer's wife had cancer, and so yeah, that was totally cancelled. So we did it in Belgium then 6 weeks earlier. But then suddenly I had such a big gap between the World Championship and what I was doing. So I suddenly decided, okay, I want to do something new, and I tried for a fast marathon. So my marathon best time was 3:15 6 years ago, and now I wanted to beat the 3 hours mark. Yeah, and I'm already an old guy, so it would be awesome if that would be working. And then I was then asking a trainer, a guy that does a lot of training for whole Belgium. He has like more than 100 athletes, and he's a really good guy. He also is the trainer of Mathieu Bonne, who is recently 6-day world champion. So yeah,
Okay.
he knows also a lot. And then I asked a lot of my buddies who do 3 hours, under 3 hour marathons for breakfast. So they are really fast. And those are all my guys that want to pace me, the pacers. So I had like 5 or 6 pacers, which were also Marianne, Ivo, the Belgian champions, 24 hours running, ex 100K Belgium champion, ex second on the 100K marathon, 100K. Yeah, all those guys, they were pacing me for that marathon. And I did it where Marathon Woman, that's a Belgian lady that does every day a marathon this year, and she will run 366 after each other. She's almost there. And then where she runs, I did then my marathon, and I made it on Instagram a huge thing. And yes, it all worked perfect except the last minute. So now I have a new concept of doing the marathon in 3 hours and 1 minute. But yeah, it was a really nice thing. I beat my best with almost 14 minutes, which is really great. But I didn't manage to beat the 3 hours barrier. It was a bit too hot, but I learned a lot from it, and I did a lot of speed work. So this backyard, I think it also helped me for the backyard. I was a bit faster than the last times. And I understand that speed work, it is when you do a lot of endurance, it's so easy to not do it anymore. But when you have a good structure and you put it in, yeah, it pays off big time. So, yeah. And I think I will pick up the speed work again from the moment my legs want to, yeah, help me again.
Totally. Yeah. As a coach, I'm right there with you. And so this is kind of just a question because growing up or about a decade ago when I was getting into the ultra world, this is the type of stuff I was wondering. So in your peak week of training or peak weeks for this world championship, what was the breakdown by day of kind of how much you were running? How was the mileage and the training spaced out, just how you would structure a week?
So for this one, because in here it was a bit strange because first I was on holiday after the marathon, then I was building up again, and it all went very nice. I did like weeks of 130, 140 kilometers, and then I did, instead of just keeping those weeks good, I said, okay, I subscribe for the Great Escape, which is a race. And then it's a race I already did 3 times. And I said, okay, I just gonna do that one and try to beat my record. And that will be also good training. And of course, I looked to the time of Maran and tried to beat his time, which did not work again. But I broke my record there. Normally, my best was 29, and now I did it in 25 hours. It's a course with 6,000 meters up and down. So pretty hard terrain also. And it's, if you ever come to Belgium, contact me. We have so much nice races, and we can do. You don't need to do it during the races itself. We can do it on our own. But yeah, those races are amazing. So I was really happy with that format because I was having fun the whole time and still beat my best with 3 hours. So I knew, okay, I'm in the right space. And then I needed to recuperate a bit longer than I expected for it. And then instead of going, those 2 or 3 weeks up front, really high again in mileage, I just made sure I did enough so that I felt strong and I was not making my legs suffer. And then the week before I still did 108 kilometers, and only the week itself, then you do 30 kilometers up front or something like that. So I don't taper a lot, but also I'm not going crazy like more than 100 miles. I only did that one time in my whole training ever without a race. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's pretty important that it used to be you had to run 100-mile weeks, many weeks in a row to be good. But in recently, people excelling in the sport across many different ultra disciplines are really in that 80 miles a week range as a peak. And I think it's just way healthier and people are feeling better and performing better. So it's so
I think
interesting.
that
But
too.
a decade ago, people were running like 170 miles a week and stuff
Yeah,
like
it's
that.
crazy. I think it can help, but it's not for everybody. Some people
So,
need a high mileage, others need lower. And then once you know it for yourself, then you have to see what will work. Also, I don't think the more miles that you do, the better you become. It is you need to train smart. If you say, okay, I need more miles, okay, that you need to bring in the miles. Of course, you will not do the 100 miles if you only run 30 miles a week. Maybe you can do it, of course, but that's not something I believe in. But there's more than that. There's also making sure that your core is good, that your sleep is good, that you eat healthy, you don't drink too many alcohol things, that you don't have stress from your work, that your kids are not making you crazy. There's so many things that you can do or do wrong. And it's only when most of those are working together, then you will see that also your body is saying, yes, you can do it. And one more thing that we always forget is the way you are thinking about your training or the way you are thinking when you are running in those races. And you can make such a big difference about same training. If you know, I run now today 10K, and you say, I don't like to run 10K. I don't like to run 10K. And you did exactly the same pace. And you say the whole time, I like to do 10K. I like to do 10K. I think that your body will recuperate much faster with the happy thoughts than with the bad thoughts. And you can see everything in two ways. Let's say during the backyard, we had the third night a lot of rain, and you could say, okay, I hate rain, but I was happy. I was happy because it made that I was not falling asleep.
yeah, yep.
So yeah, the weather, it became in my ears, the better.
Yeah, totally. So, just a couple specifics. Do you take a rest day every week, and then do you strength train? Do strength work multiple times a
Um,
week?
well, I take most of the time I do like streaking, but if I feel like it doesn't work today, I don't give I give my streak up. So most of the time it's like 2 weeks running with 1 day rest, and sometimes
Close.
it's 2 days rest. It all depends on what the family needs. But if I can go on, I will run like every day, but there will always be also easy runs in between. So if you are used to run like under 20K a week and you do only 10K that day, then it almost feels like you're not running.
Yeah, yep.
Yeah, but you make sure you know why you're running, and you just do it for your weekly mileage and your goals, your in between goals or your big goals. It always helps. and
Hmm.
um and from the moment that the streaking part is just some assignment that you need to do no matter what, I don't think it's healthy anymore. And everybody needs to decide that for their own. So I had a friend who had a streak of 500, and then he did the race of his life together with me, the Great Escape. He was a bit at the end. His knee was revolting, but he still finished. And then he did a few days without running, and he started a new streak. And yeah, that's good, I think. If you feel like my body needs a rest, you have to take it. It's you're not a pussy by that. You're only a pussy if you say, I don't feel like running, okay, I quit. Yeah, that you
Yeah,
don't do. We are not wimps.
yeah, totally. Yeah. And then, so I guess,
And
one other,
the strength,
yeah,
yeah. I don't do that, but I do push-ups every day, uh,
Uh-huh.
100, just to make sure like I have my 100 push-up streak, and that's to say to myself, okay, I can do it. Even if I don't like it, I do that one, and that's some kind of making sure that I keep my habits. And because 100 push-ups will not make you more weak or something like that. It only builds a bit your core, and even in the bad days you can still do it. You can chop it up in 20 times, or even it doesn't matter. But and always sometimes if I don't do them, I make sure the next day I have it from the day before and stuff like that. So that's one thing. And also for big dogs, when there was so much elevation in it, then I did extra strength training with a physiotherapist.
Oh
So
yeah. Okay.
and that was only during the summer. So normally I just run so much that I don't need it. I run so much, my legs are perfectly in balance, and I'm never injured, so I don't really need it. I think it could help me to do some extra, but you have to find the time. And for
Yep.
the moment, then if I have time, then I run more.
Yeah, yeah. And then yeah, I was gonna ask about that. Like what do you do for work? And you said you run commute. Do you run commute every day or that kind of thing?
No, I sometimes do it, and it's perfectly possible because I only work like 10K from my home, but I can also work a lot from home, and
Uh-huh.
so yeah, most of the time during the lunch breaks I go for a run. That's how I do
Uh-huh.
it most of the time. And I have an office job. I'm an IT guy, so
Yeah.
yeah, pretty
Cool.
pretty happy with my job. Pretty happy with all my friends. So I can run on my own, and I can run with all my friends. And where I live, I can run flat, and I can run in the hills. So yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. It
easy
seems like
life.
a theme that a lot of people who do backyards do some amount of run commuting. It's pretty interesting. I know Harvey Lewis does
Yeah,
run
yeah.
commuting and yeah, it's just like you need to run a lot, so it's an easy way to fit it into your schedule, I guess.
It's yeah, it's good for your schedule if you do it that way. But I'm a heavy sweater, so
Yeah, yeah. Okay, last question. If someone is doing their first backyard ultra, last person standing type event in the near future, what's the biggest advice you would give them to maximize whatever potential they can achieve?
first of all is don't put a certain goal. If you, it depends. You can do it just to run and have fun, and say, okay, I want to run 8 loops, and that's also fine. But if you want to go to really break your limits, and we all have our limits in our heads. They people help putting limiting beliefs in our head, and that's something in a backyard that you bit by bit it can break down. So if you believe in yourself, you can go beyond what you first think is possible. And I would say make sure that your goals are really really far, and best is not to have like a real number, because once you reach that number, 1 or 2 laps later you're out. So
Yeah.
really
Yeah.
try to have a goal like every loop, I just go out of my chair and I start running. If I don't make it, it's fine. If I make it, it's for the next one.
Yeah.
And also, the other thing is try to have fun and enjoy the thing, because it's the only race where you can have eat and drink so much. For
Yeah.
me, at least for me, I have a strong stomach. And then another thing that I learned from the guys from the Self Transcendence race, Grahak, that's one of the guys that did it a lot of times, and they they have the. Do you know the race, the 3,100 Self Transcendence
Oh,
race?
in New York
Yeah,
City?
in Queens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
The cool thing about it is all those guys they do it, and then they come back, and even if they fail, the next year they come back. And that means something to me. It means that running so long in hard conditions, it can be fun. And that's what they do. They alter with their minds, they alter the world. And they use all the strength they have to self-transcendence, to change their own. And because if you would just do it with your muscles and your body, you never will make it. But if you believe in it, then you can turn your beliefs in real power, and they don't run with their brains, they run with their heart. Because in your brain sees fatigue, they see tiredness, they are calculating on what energy is left and what's food and what they still need to do. But if you run with your heart, you run like a child, and then you run with unlimited energy until you finally it's up, and then you go down. But you don't go down because at the same time you make sure that you eat enough and you rest enough, and then you can have fun the whole backyard, or the whole Sunday run, or the whole what it is, interval run. So have fun, and then you will feel less pain, and you will enjoy your running much, 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 much more.
Wow, that's awesome. Okay, I have one last question. What is your next goal? Where are we going to see you next? What are you going to go after?
Well, because this self-transcendence thing, it is on my watch list. I want to do a 6-day race, and I subscribe myself to 6 days of France in end of April. And it's by accident, it is also the World Championship. So I gonna do there my best. I will start training. There are some 2 races in front of it, which I still want to do. It's part of the slam. If I can do them just as training for the 6-day race. And then in the end of 25, I will try to be on the individual backyard world champs in America.
Are you already qualified by this performance?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
I don't think that there will be 25 people running more than 110 yards by August.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, no kidding. Well, thanks so much for joining, Frank. This was awesome and so interesting to dive into the world of loops and just going slowly crazy over many hours.
Yeah, I really loved it too. And I'm also a fan of you and all your content that you bring, and the crazy things that you try. And sometimes you get it and sometimes you don't. And I think it's very brave to start, even if you don't know up front that you will make it. That's something I had to learn myself. Otherwise, you don't know your potential if you just do things that you think you can do. Also do things that you think you might be able to do, and then you will reach your full potential and have a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's just like a backyard where you don't know how long you'll be running or how far you'll be running. Everything's a question mark about the future.
Yeah, everything is doable.
Yeah, totally. Well, thanks for jumping on. This was awesome.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, I hope you found some good value in that episode. I think it's really fun. It's pretty incredible. These guys, all from Belgium, the top 3 people in this world field were Belgium. So 458 miles in 4.5 days, spread out in 4.1 miles per hour. It's pretty incredible. I think I will be able to turn around a pretty cool episode, maybe put it out on Wednesday, but sounds like you guys are going to want a bonus episode. Maybe I'll put it out Tuesday. We might all need something on Tuesday, no matter what you're thinking. It's not like the most normal Tuesday. But anyways, the big week, we have so many good interviews coming. They're awesome. You're going to be stoked. So like, subscribe. That's like a YouTube thing. So like and subscribe on YouTube, 5 stars on Apple Podcast, and leave a comment about why this podcast is awesome. It just helps us get new listeners and helps us grow. And then 5 stars on Spotify, everywhere else, and just share it with your friends. So thanks a lot. You can always email jeff@freeoutside.com. Any suggestions, guests, ideas, things like that. Super busy with just taking on some more guests, taking bigger swings now that I've kind of got the hang of this, or at least I am starting to be delusional and think I do, and know how to talk to people. The whole reason for starting this podcast was to become better at conversing with people, since I live alone and feel like I got some of that pretty good autistic tendency in me, so it's hard to talk to people. So this has been a great learning experience, and yeah, I think it's just helped share some of the knowledge that pass along to athletes I coach and stuff like that, and just a really cool way to put stuff out there, help people do stuff, and go from there. All right, see you when I see you, because more stuff is going to be coming out this week. It's a big week for content here at Free Outside LLC. All right, with that, stay elite, my friends.